Are we on?
Yes. Was that a point, John? It looked like a never mind. Anyway, we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Vision. I'm so glad you all are here today. We're going to stand and celebrate being together. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. The love that God is, I am. The love that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am. About the joy that God is, I am. The joy that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. I am the life of God. Love is what I am. The love that God is, I am. The love that God is, I am. Unbound, unlimited, and free. The life of God is life in me. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am the life of God.
You need to applaud for that. That was great. You are in great voice this morning. I love it. Look, okay, let's not do anything else but pray right now. I give great thanks for this day, for everything in it, for everyone here, for those on their way and those who are home and around the globe, just knowing that there is one life. It is the life of God's. It is whole, perfect, and complete. This life is everything that God is. All those qualities have been poured into us. So we are the place where abundance and peace and power and unity show up. We are the place where God knows of itself in form. I give great thanks for this, knowing it is the truth of us. And so it is. Oh, good morning. Is it going to rain? Yes? Anybody? Everybody? Is it? Yeah, we got a couple of, we should do like a weather bingo or something. Yeah, weather lotto. Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? You know, we could use it though, can't we? We can use the rain. I love it. When it rains a little bit, my trees get so happy, don't they? The little leaves. Anyway, I am here to tell you other things than the weather. I am not a meteorologist. Let's talk about prayer. This is what we do here. This is what we do. We pray, and what we know is that prayer changes things. So if you are here today with anything on your heart, we have ministers and practitioners all around the room that are here to pray with you and for you. So I would love for the ministers and practitioners, raise your hands. Look at this lovely group of people all around us. They have spent years, right, Marcus? He laughs. Years in classes, years learning the art of compassionate listening and the science of healing prayer. This is what we do here. And it changes conditions around us because it changes us. That's what prayer does. It changes us, changes the conditions around us, changes our lives. Ernest Holmes said, change your thinking, change your life. So there will be practitioners and ministers at the front of the room at the end of the celebration. Come up, ask one for prayer. They'll sit down with you or go to a breakout room out here, one of the classrooms, and have prayer one-on-one. For our community online, there's a meet and greet room after the celebration where you can get one-on-one prayer as well. There'll be practitioners there. There's breakout rooms. You have privacy. It's a lovely way to change your life. It's a lovely way to know the truth for you. That's what the practitioners and ministers do. They pray the truth, and it changes conditions. So please do that at the end of the celebration. Don't leave here without it, like they say, right? And get that prayer support. What else can I tell you? Wait. Women's History Month. Oh, we have, who's doing it? I didn't hear anybody. You're next week. Women's History Month, anybody? Nobody? We missed today? How could we have done that? I see it here. Should have been done. You know what? We will wait until next week, and we'll make sure. That's odd. I don't know how we missed that. Okay, let me go on from there and talk to you about guest packets. We have guest packets right here. And they're on the prayer table in the back of the room, and they're on the welcome table in the lobby and by the back door. And see, we have these prepared. We have Patricia Coughlin, and she does this for us every week. Thank you so much. We are so grateful that she does that. Oh, I put it away, sorry. There is a greeting that we say to remind ourselves. We say it for each other. We say it for our guests. Let's say it now. You ready? Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. And that's like the unconditional version of love, right? That's the kind of you are safe and you are loved love. It's unconditional love. Come on in, show up just as you are. It is a wonderful and accepting and inclusive place to be. Now that I've said that, turn to somebody that you know or don't know and say, welcome to Vision. I love it. Thank you for greeting each other. I think that's lovely. And now I'm going to turn it over to James Vandenberg, who's our choir director. He's going to lead our celebration singers in our centering song to prepare us for our 5-minute meditation. Take it away.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
name is Marcus Gilliland. I am a minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. Please take these quotations into your heart as we move into the silence and allow the tones of the bowl to bring you into and out of the 5-minute meditation. From John Muir, we see that everything in nature called destruction must be creation, a change from beauty to beauty. And from our founder, Ernest Holmes, a human is potentially perfect, but free will and self-choice cause them to appear imperfect. In reality, all they can destroy is some particular embodiment of themselves. The divine spark is always intact in potential human. memorial candle is burning today for brother of Vision member Dina McDonald, Jim. Jim made his transition on February 16th. Our hearts and minds are with Dina and her family and friends as they feel the separation and the loss, the seeming disconnect now that Jim is no longer here in the form that they knew him. But we know that nothing is ever lost in the one life, and that energy, that intelligence, that love that was Jim here moves on up that eternal spiral, welcomed into that peace that passes all of our understanding, welcoming him into that next expression, that next great adventure, always in the arms of grace and of love. It is that one energy that is always in those constant cycles of creation and dismantling, a universal presence that is far beyond anything that we've ever been able to see through a telescope or measure in any way. It's the one life, the one love, the one power, dynamic, and at the same time peaceful. Is that still point within us, knowing that none of us could be separated from this one power and this one life. It's all that is, and it's more than anything that we can make or do, for it is the thing that makes and creates along with us, loving its creation, always knowing every detail, and welcoming us always with a gentle yes. So I know that power and that presence and that love and that grace here this morning as we come together as Vision to celebrate what it is to be community, to hear the word, to sing the song, share a meal. I'm grateful for everyone here, all of the volunteers, musicians. Grateful for Reverend Patti. Grateful for everyone online supporting the community. Grateful for that one spirit that connects us all, bringing us all together. No matter what the ups and downs of life are, there is that still point within each one of us, and we connect to each other in that place of love and grace and peace and power. So I know this time good, I know this day beautiful, I know health and prosperity and joy for all here. I just simply let this be by saying thank you, Spirit, for this time. Thank you for this opportunity to speak these words aloud, to know the truth, and to be in community. So I just simply let this be. I release it into that infinite law of mind that understands everything about me, all of my thoughts and feelings and emotions, and brings back to me 1,000-fold good upon good upon good. Thank you, Spirit. Let it be, and so it is. Amen.
There are auspicious times in artists' lives, and we're very lucky to have our soloist today all here and also doing a concert later today because he was just given the Actor of the Year award from the San Diego Theater Critics Association, the Craig Noel Award. So, but he's been here before, and he will be here again. Please welcome DeAndre Simmons.
Good morning, everyone. This first selection is called Come Sunday from a suite written by Duke Ellington and was originally for a solo for a saxophonist, but after it wasn't as popular as he might have wanted it to be, he then enlisted the great Mahalia Jackson to do it as a vocal soloist. So while I do not lift myself to the level of Mahalia Jackson, I hope you enjoy the song. Come Sunday, oh, come Sunday, that's the day. Lord, dear Lord above, God Almighty, God of love, please look down and see my people through. I believe that God put sun and moon up in the sky. I don't mind the gray skies, 'cause they're just clouds passing by. Dear Lord above, God Almighty, God of love, please look down and see my people through. I believe God is now, was then, and always shall be. With God's blessings we can make it through eternity. Dear Lord above, God Almighty, God of love, please look down and see people through.
You know what? It was my turn to do Women's History Month this morning. I just looked at this schedule. Sorry about that. But it was my turn to do it. And I did the research, and I never printed it out, and then I totally forgot all about it. So I'm going to tell you right now before my talk that the person I picked was Rosalind Franklin. She was she was a British chemist. I have it all printed up here, and I didn't even, anyway. She was a chemist and an X-ray crystallographer, and it says here, she contributed significantly to the understanding of the DNA molecule. She actually discovered it. So don't let that kid you. Her X-ray photographs of the DNA revealed the famous Photo 51, which revealed the double helix structure of the DNA model, which Dr. Watson and Crick, remember that from high school chemistry? Watson and Crick got the Nobel Prize for discovering the structure of DNA. Well, the joke around the chemistry lab was always, what did Watson and Crick discover? Rosalind Franklin's notebooks. Anyway, she helped establish the field of structural virology and improved the understanding of the molecular structure of messenger RNA as well as graphite. And there you go, the more you know. Yay! And I get a C+ in preparation, sorry. I should have been prepared. I knew it was my week. Anyway, we have a new month. We have a new theme. The flow of coming and going. How exciting is that, right? We live in the physical world. Things are always coming and going here, aren't they? It is the world in which we live. Things are forever, right? Spirit is forever inhabiting form and abandoning form all the time. Stuff is coming and going at the level of the physical always. Nothing stays. Everything moves and goes. That's why it says it comes to pass in the Bible. It doesn't say it comes to stay, right? Ha ha. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, here within myself is something that knows. Here is something that knows it is and knows that life itself moves with a tide as irresistible as the recurring seasons. And that is our life. That's our physical life. The planet's been here. How long has the universe been here, right? The Big Bang and all of that. Billions and billions of years. And we have like maybe 100 years, give or take, right? Real small little part. And then we move on and we do something else. The thing that we can say for sure about life is that it changes. Always. It changes always. And sometimes we embrace those changes. And sometimes we resist those changes. And sometimes, just sometimes, we stand silent witness to change as the observer in our lives, which is really a healthy place to be, isn't it? Sometimes we choose change. Sometimes change is thrust upon us. That's the ones we don't like very much. However we do it, or however it's done to us, I don't know. However it happens, let's say that. However it happens, change will occur. You could get your life just as perfect as you want, right? Your lawn does not even have one dandelion, nothing, not a weed. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, boop, it's gone, right? Something else has taken its place. Some change has happened because that's what life is. Life is change. We can resist it, we can fight against it. It doesn't work that way. Change happens anyway, always, in the physical world. And I think we get reminders, right? The seasons remind us. The phases of the moon remind us. It reminds us all the time. Change is always occurring. Change is happening. Nothing we can do about it. We can accept it. We can resist it. We can get angry about it. So the only thing we really have control over is our reactions to it. Reactions to change, but change happens, you know. I am reminded of the goddess Kali. Are you familiar with her? Holy moly. The Hindu goddess of destruction. She is a fearsome specter, isn't she? She stands tall with this beautiful dark blue skin, and she wears a necklace of skulls, and around her waist a belt of severed limbs. She is fearsome. She has 4 arms usually. She's usually depicted with 4 arms, sometimes 6, sometimes 8, but at the minimum 4 arms. In one, she holds a severed head. And in another one is a bowl beneath the head collecting the blood dripping from it. Her 3rd arm, she holds up a sword, probably the one that severed the head. Did the severing. And then the 4th arm holds a mudra blessing. Because she is the goddess of creation as well. They are 2 sides of the same thing, destruction and creation. So she offers that blessing. But we can't have creation without destruction. Something has to fall away in order for something to come up in its place. And she stands mightily with her right foot on the chest of her beloved Shiva, who has, in an act of love, placed himself on the ground beneath her feet to end her destructive rampage. Ah, love conquers all. Isn't that beautiful? Now, you notice he didn't just go up to her and say, honey, calm down. Because we all know how well that works. Don't be so dramatic, you know? No, he doesn't. This is what ends the destruction, right? He lays himself in front of her. She puts her foot on his chest, and she is brought back to herself. And love wins. So, what is the destruction? Right? What is the destruction? What is the sword cutting away? Symbolically, old beliefs, outdated beliefs, false and limiting beliefs that we must cut away in our lives. The severed head. This is the mask, the false ego that we walk around behind. Right? The necklace of skulls and the belt of severed limbs. The things that are limiting us. The addictions, the demons of addictions that she has killed. Obsessions that hold us back. She gets rid of them for us. She cuts them away. And before her orgy of destruction can get totally out of control and destroy the entire universe, her lover, her consort, puts himself under her foot. So that she is brought back to herself. Ends her destruction. That's it, it's over. Love wins. Out with the old. In with the new. So what do we do when that Kali energy rampages through our life? Because you know it does, right? How many of us have had that experience? The lover leaves, or we get fired, or we're transferred out of town, or big things happen, right? This stuff that just absolutely rampages through our lives, ending something and starting something else. What do we do when that Kali energy calls us to that higher awareness? What do we do when it happens to a friend? What do we do when it happens to a family member or a neighborhood or a country? When that destructive energy of Kali just slashes and burns. How do we deal with that? What do? We go back to principle. This is what our teaching is about. We go back to principle. What do we know? God is all there is. God is all there is. What else do we know? God is all good. God is the good to which there is no opposite. So what am I seeing? What am I not seeing? Let's ask the better question. What am I not seeing? What good is being revealed right here in this demonstration that I don't understand? Ernest Holmes in How to Use Your God Power. This is an interesting talk he gave at the Ebell Theater in 1945. What was going on then? Anyway, January of 1945. We will have to identify ourselves with goodness, and that is not easy. For instance, we start the day saying, I'm going to believe in only harmony. Right? How many of us do that? You come out of your meditation, right? Your morning meditation, and you're like, I'm just going to love everybody. Okay, so Ernest Holmes goes on to say, I'm going to believe only in harmony. Then we see a headline in the newspaper. We listen to the radio, and we talk with each other, and we say, well, there's harmony in God. I just wish it were here on earth. Yes? How many times have we caught ourselves saying that? And in this way, we separate ourselves from it. That very belief, that very thought, that very verbalizing, we separate ourselves from it. He goes on to say, it is not easy to live this philosophy. We should not only refuse to comment on discord, we shouldn't even dare think about it. To think it will be to will it and to have it done, to vibrate to that level, and that's what there is to it. To think hell is hell. So the first thing we must do is think heaven. Make the state of mind heaven on earth. Make our consciousness heaven on earth. Because that's the first thing we must do. Before we do anything, we have to know something. And that's where we begin. We begin in consciousness all the time. So what do we know? Ernest Holmes said, we no longer identify ourselves with that which is negative. And that is not easy. In fact, he said it's very difficult. But we will never arrive until we arrive at the level where our state is not exclusion but inclusion. Good grief. Right? We want to know love. We want to know love. God is love. God is the love to which there is no opposite. We want to know love. We must get rid of hate. It can't coexist, right? We cannot serve two masters. You know, that says it in the Bible. We want to love. We have to get rid of hate. We want to be happy. We have to take unhappiness out in the backyard and bury it somewhere. We want to be well. We have to get rid of sickness. We want to go to heaven. Let's cool off hell. We want God. Get rid of the devil. And if we want to live, love. Because that is what God is. That's what the Bible meant. That's what it meant in Matthew. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. That's what he was talking about. Get rid of the stuff that's the other side of the false duality that we create here. Same thing, the Bhagavad Gita said the same thing. You cannot enter into bliss until you have done away with the pairs of opposites. That's what it says in the Gita. That's losing your life. That's losing your life to find it. Getting rid of the apparent dualities that don't exist. Getting rid of what you don't want so that you can revel in what you do want. That's losing your life. That's non-resistance. Creative living, Ernest Holmes said, we cannot only embrace ourselves. Somehow our arms must find themselves around the shoulders of all humanity. We cannot worship a God who belongs to us alone. Only as we enter into the feeling of the essence that diffuses itself everywhere, then at last we can look at each other and say, I worship God in your form. That's unconditional love. No exceptions. No exceptions. We leave no one out of our hearts. Ernest Holmes said, I don't remember where it was. It's in the textbook somewhere. I don't remember the page. But he said, the first thing to do is love everyone. If you haven't done that yet, begin to do so immediately. I just love that. It's like so easy. That's it. This is what you do. I mean, they could have dispensed with the entire textbook and just made that one sentence. That's it. Just love everybody. If you haven't done so by now, begin to do so immediately. It doesn't get clearer, cleaner, or simpler than that, or more challenging than that. In that same talk from 1945, Ernest Holmes said, praise only, never criticize. I love Dr. Holmes. I do. I'm like a fangirl. However, good Lord. Oh, yeah, that one, the one that I keep tripping over daily, never criticize. Oh, God, I got to be the queen of saying something stupid to someone somehow, or having someone overhear something stupid, I say, or opinionated. We all have opinions. Do we not have opinions? Oh, my God. They're not truth. There's something stupid I say every now and then I have to apologize. So let me just apologize right up front. I say stupid stuff every once in a while. Please forgive me, right? I'm working on that one. Never criticize. Holy moly. But we cannot afford to harden our hearts to anyone. We can't. Matthew 13:15, Jesus says, the people with hardened hearts are unable to see, hear, or understand, and cannot turn to him for healing. That's big, because what that means is God does not hear the prayer of one who fails to love. Right? You can say all the affirmations you want. You can say all the affirmative prayers you want. If your heart is hardened against someone else, right, a whole lot of nothing is happening. That was the whole bit about bringing your gift to the altar. Don't bother. If you got somebody that you're holding outside of your heart, if you're hardened against someone, don't bother. God fails to hear the prayers of one who fails to love. And we are about as hard-hearted as they get lately. I don't know if anybody's seen the newspapers or read the newspapers or seen the TV or gone on social media. But we are about as opinionated and divisive and unwilling to hear each other and unwilling to listen and unwilling to consider seeing things from someone else's perspective, just clinging to our own rightness. I'm right, you're wrong, that's it. We say at each other, right? No wonder why heart disease is the number one killer in this country. Interesting, right? No wonder. We know that the body is the battlefield. The mind goes to war on. So yeah, doesn't surprise me that heart disease is the number one killer in this country. We've hardened them so hard, they don't work right. So, we know in the midst of change, which is exactly where we are always, something is always changing, whether or not we want it. We don't know how it's going to come out. We know how to think about it. We know in consciousness to return to principle. We know we don't know the how, but that God is in charge. We know to look up, like Emma Curtis Hopkins said, look up, return to principle, think aright, pray aright, is what Ernest Holmes said. So we know what to think, we know how to think, then what do we do? Ernest Holmes said, from this day forward, I shall no longer identify myself with that which is weak, sick, poor, miserable, or unhappy. Identify yourself with the person, but not with the trouble. See how that goes? Jesus said, if I lift myself up, I lift up all others with me. If you see a man in the mud, you don't wallow in the mud with him. You reach down, you lift him up, and you identify yourself with that divine spark that is within him, not identify with the mud. You identify yourself with God, who lifts itself up and finds the eternal dwelling place within the mind of the human. We continue to speak truth. That's what we do. We continue to do good works. We continue to share from our abundance. We share from our love. We share from our limitless gifts that we have. Because really, that's what the science of mind and spirit teaches us, right? We say we have no dogma. Yeah, go take a test and find out how much not dogma we have. Anyway, we claim we have no dogma, right? But there are ways to do things. But if we had an elevator speech for what is religious science, what is the science of mind and spirit, what do you say? Someone says, hey, what do you believe? Oh, we go on a little rant, don't we? Oh, let's say, okay, we're not Scientology, we're not Christian Science, we don't believe this, we're not that. And we tell a whole big litany of all the stuff that we're not. Here's your elevator speech. What do we believe? We believe love God, love each other, do good works. Bingo. You can say that between floors 1 and 2 and be done. That's all we got. That's all we got. Love God, love each other, do good stuff. And if it can't do good stuff, at least don't harm anything. Right? At least don't harm anyone. And keep remembering, what would Ernest do? We should get bracelets like that, WWED. What would Ernest do? He would continue to teach truth and lift folks up until they can lift themselves, right? That's what we do. Ernest Holmes never told people who were struggling, hey, sucks to be you, pal. You know? What were you thinking that caused that in your life? That's old religious science, too, by the way. We did that years and years ago. Oh, my God, what were you thinking that caused that cold, right? Not Ernest Holmes. I know that there are people in this teaching who think that it absolutely excuses us from caring or helping others because they have mistakenly thought taking responsibility for your life is blaming you for your life. They're two different things, not the same thing. You don't blame people for their condition. We lift them up. We assist. We help. We do what we can. It's not the same thing. We are here to grow spiritually. We're here to remember who we are. We are here to assist others, our brothers and sisters, who may or may not be doing as well as we are. We do what we can. And in doing well, we enable others to do well. Yes, we do that together. We lift each other up. We're all walking in the same direction, right? Nobody gets out of here alive. We're all walking each other home like, who said that? Somebody said that. Ram Dass, thank you. Ram Dass said that. We're all walking each other home. We are, right? Let's help each other out. We're all walking in the same direction toward enlightenment, toward total freedom of disharmony and discord and dysfunction of any kind. That's what Ernest Holmes said in the What We Believe statement. We believe in total emancipation from discord and dis-ease and dysfunction of any kind. That's where we're going with this teaching. That's what we're here to do. And he said, little by little, there will be added to our unconscious or subjective reactions a new body of thought, which ultimately will be projected and expanded into universal mind. We shall not only be freeing ourselves, but we shall be helping to free the whole human race from the bondage of fear, ignorance, superstition, and thoughts based on the past and what the past has wrought. The past is dead. So, let's let go of the past. Let's let go. Let's embrace the present, and let's set powerful intentions for the future. Destruction happens. It's part of the cycle of life. Creation happens. It's part of the cycle of life. And we have the power to co-create with Spirit. We have the power to co-create, to use those powerful intentions we set and manifest a new course for ourselves. Thank you.
He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the woods and the waters in his hands. He's got the woods and the waters in his hands. He's got the sun and the moon right in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hands. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hands. He's got the beasts of the fields right in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me right in his hands. He's got you and me right in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Oh, I love that. That is just beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much. Gosh, that was beautiful. So it is time for conscious circulation. This is our opportunity to demonstrate our belief, our faith, our trust in the abundant nature of God, and know that it flows through us into the world, into this place, into the places beyond these walls. And it does good, the good that we desire to see in the world. And so this is the appropriate place for your donations. And we are so grateful that we get to do what we do because you do what you do. Isn't that, I love that. I just love the way that works. Let's pray. I know that God is abundance. I know it is a quality of God. So therefore it is a quality of us. That we acknowledge it, we embody it, we embrace it, we demonstrate it. Each and every time we say yes to Spirit, we know Spirit pours itself into us and then through us and as us in the world to do the good that we would see done in the world. So I give great thanks for all the good that flows through here. We are so grateful for it, for each and every demonstration of abundance that flows. And so forever grateful, I simply let it be. And so it is. So it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, back to where my soul is fed. As I give, so do I receive. Thank you for my daily bread. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give,
receive.
Yay. I love that. I have miracle minutes to share. Yay. This is from Gary. And he said he's been sitting on this one far too long, but that's okay. It's still a miracle. His friend had a defective liver, and he reached a stage where it had to be replaced. He was hospitalized. He had been on life support for a while in ICU. He was there 4 months waiting for a perfect match. But he was always upbeat, always knew he was going to get it. Finally, a liver came through in 2023. It was a long wait. And it was transplanted, and he was sent home. And after a while, his body rejected the transplant. But they said this time it was going to be longer because it was 2023, the pandemic, the shortage and all that kind of stuff. And so once again, we put him in the prayer ministry. Thank you for putting that in. And that very next day, he was told that a liver was available. It was being flown in. He got prepared for surgery. To date, his body is still fully accepting the transplant. He's doing well, and he's healthy. Yay. I love it. Mary was diagnosed with breast cancer. She elected to have the full mastectomy rather than go through lumpectomy, radiation, hormone therapy. She was okay with her decision. She asked for prayer support so that everything goes well with the procedure. And she was placed into a prayer ministry. What happened? Okay. And so Gary received the call. All went well, no complications. Recuperation was easy. And that was just last Friday. And just last Friday, she was given the notification that she is cancer-free. Yay. And that's that. That's that, another inspiring. And then from just this week, I had severe dental pain, not me, this is Gary, had severe dental pain, made the appointment with the wonderful dentist, and then called his practitioner for support. Yay, always do that. When something's up, right, what do? First call you make, practitioner, prayer, let us know. Anyway, needed extensive work, several root canals, the whole bit. Not dental stuff, I don't. Anyway, the real miracle was the dental staff. They were free, they were available, they got all the work done quickly and easily, effortlessly. Could you say that? Okay. It's usually like four appointments to complete all that work. They did it all at once, and it was seamless and perfect and easy, and they told me this never happens. You hear that a lot in religious science, right? Things just work out easily for us, and it's like, this never happens. Well, it happens with us. And that's what I know today. So thank you so much for these demonstrations of answered prayers. And I have one more from Barbara, but I'm going to save it for next week because I can't figure out how to get it out of my text onto the paper. So I'll figure that out, and you'll hear that one next week. Now it is time for The Last Word by Lizzie Bird.
Good morning, beloved Vision family. In here, out there, all around the world, we are so happy and grateful that you are with us. Don't it feel good? It does. Such a great talk. Thank you, Patti. So, how about DeAndre Simmons? Well, you have a chance for more. As Mark said, he's going to be performing for us tonight. And, just in addition to the beautiful color and tone and richness of his voice, he makes you feel. I mean, how many times have you heard The Whole World in Your Hands? I heard it on a whole different level thanks to what you bring to it. That was just so beautiful. So would you come up and tell us about your concert tonight?
I grew up in the Baptist church, so coming in the pulpit always feels weird because we were never allowed to walk in the pulpit. So tonight's recital is an entire program comprised of composers that are all of the African diaspora, right? So we have incredible composers such as Margaret Bonds, who wrote this version of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, Duke Ellington, Scott Joplin, William Grant Still, etc., songs and arias from operas composed by black composers, all to texts of some of the greatest poets around, Langston Hughes, Cecil Cohen, and so forth. So there are over 2,000 black composers around the world, both deceased and living, and this is a program that was sort of inspired to me by another great opera singer some time ago, so I try to do it as often as time permits. It's really fantastic music. Some of the songs, some of these are written by composers that are more known for their spiritual arrangements. There are some spirituals on the program, but the lesser known are their art songs, which are akin to any Schubert or Mahler that you may hear. So I hope you all will come back. I know the Oscars are happening, but if you're like me, I didn't see any of those movies. So I don't want to watch someone win an award for something I didn't even see. I wasn't able to criticize whether they were good in the show or not. So it's live music. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes in total, so I hope you'll find your way to come back tonight.
Thank you. You can also record the Oscars, so no excuses. Show up. All right, this month we have another Lunch and Learn that's brought to you by Reverend Jean and Liz Lem. As it gets closer, we're going to hear more details about that, so stay tuned. We also have a fun new fundraiser led by Dr. Dixon and the diversity team. And this is going to be the Lovejoy Afternoon Tea fundraiser. So it's going to be poetry, dance, comedy, Mariah Angeline. Also, as that gets closer, we're going to hear more about that. And the diversity team is rocking it, man. They keep bringing us awesome things. So that's going to be Saturday, March 22nd. Today, right after service at 12 o'clock, the men's circle is going to be going on. That's on the first and the third Sundays of each month. So don't miss that. We also have today, same time, the prayer shawl group. And that's led by Catherine Flanagan. It's at noon. And this is a lovely cause helping. They're going to be knitting and crocheting for people who are in need of warmth and comfort. So come be a part of that. Also, the diversity team is continuing. You just have a few more weeks to contribute to the boxes out there. They're collecting food and toiletries, cash, things for the women and children in shelters. You don't want to put cash in the box, though. You talk to the diversity team about what to do with that. We continue on with our fun and fantastic fundraiser, Adopt a Bill. Big thanks to anybody who's contributed so far. Yay. We are grateful. It takes a lot to keep this wonderful place going, and we appreciate your contribution. And if you don't know about it, go out on the wall. You can see all the options out there just across from where the food is. Okay. Next Sunday, spring forward. Set your clocks. Don't want to be late. We don't want to miss out on the top. It's going to be Billy Francis is going to be talking about right meditation. So yoo-hoo. And Shayna Pugh is going to be our performer. So that's going to be fun. So if your birthday is in March, would you please stand up? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
So this week's cake is chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. Okay. Also, we're starting this week. You'll see a QR code at hospitality. So if you don't have cash to make a little donation, just scan.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Aren't we getting modern here? Big thanks to Mark, always showing up for us. We appreciate you, Mark. And to the celebration singers. read by James. Thank you all for your time and attention.
And a special thank you, too, to the sound team for their awesome sound and video and streaming, because without the gentleman in the booth in the back, you wouldn't be able to hear anything. Nobody would hear anything. It wouldn't matter, right? Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let us all stand up. I'm inviting the practitioners and the ministers up in the front to get ready for prayer. We have affirmations to say. Oh, yeah, there they are. See, I remembered these. Let's say these together. I am at peace with the cycles of my life. I trust that every ending is a door to a new beginning. My reality is my creation, and I create with love. Oh my gosh, we got to say 3 again. I love, love, love it. It just sums up the entire day, doesn't it? Let's just say this together. Feeling purposeful, powerful, passionate. You know this is the truth of you. My reality is my creation, and I create with love. Certainly do. Let's pray. I know that there is one universal intelligence. We call it spirit, but we can call it whatever we want. We higher power or first cause or the beginning, whatever we want to call it, we know that there is just one. Behind the diversity, the wonderful and delightful and colorful diversity of all life everywhere is the eternal one behind everything. Just being, just loving all of its creations. And so I give great thanks for this. I know this is the truth of us. It is the truth of all life everywhere, that all life is some aspect of the one life of God's. And so it is.
So it is.
Peace for the world starts with me. 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 All right, here we go. There's no one here to judge, nothing here to overcome. I'm standing in my truth, I see God in everyone. There's no one here to judge, nothing here to overcome. I'm standing in my truth, I see God in everyone. Peace for the world starts with me. Peace for the world starts with me. There's no one here to judge, nothing here to overcome. I'm standing in my truth, I see God in everyone. There's no one here to judge, nothing here to overcome. I'm standing in my truth, I see God in everyone. Peace for the world starts with me.